Oh, hello, Patterson. Need I introduce myself? I guess I'll do so for the people that don't know me or new to me. My name is Serrano Keith Baldi. I'm the previous owner of the New Jersey Pulse News, NJ Pulse News in Patterson, New Jersey, and Christian Heritage US. Today, we're going to have a very long show, guys. Yeah, now usually I say I'm going to do a short show, but we have some people being naughty, really nasty, really bad. So we're going to have to talk about them. So first I want to tell you about myself that you may already know. I don't back down from a fight. I don't let people walk over my community. I don't let people walk over my people who are Christians and everybody that's in need. I don't let anybody, especially in the government, hurt the people, manipulate them, lie to them, and think they're going to get away with it. I don't let that happen. I was built in the gospel of Christ. That's how I learned how to fight. Never give up, never give in, never compromise your faith. And if you see evil in high places, it's your duty to confront it. And that's what I do. It's not something that I chose, it's just something that God has put in within me. And I was leaving Patterson, and Danny Aiello said to me, he said, your life will, I said, I just wanted to go to Dallas and live a better life and get away from all this stuff. And he said to me, that will never happen. And I said, why? I just want a good life. And he said, because of who you are and what you do, your personality and your character. And I guess he was right. I don't know how to see people in a power hurting other people and get away with it. I don't know how to respond to that except to confront it. I followed the gospel, and Jesus could have gone away and have his own temple and his own life and live good. But he stayed and he fought in Jerusalem, even though it was going to cost him his life. And it's costing me. It's cost me dearly to fight for the people of Patterson. I didn't think it was going to go after my family. So let's get right into that. So I'm living in Dallas. All you guys, you know that already. And this is me. This is my life. Oh, that's not my life. I'm talking to people. I'm living here. I put my head in the ring for office. I'm trying to get some good things. I'm trying to live a new life here. Put Patterson behind me. I get calls about Andrew Say. I get calls about the corruption. I get calls about what he's doing with the money. And I said, you know what? I can't. I have to have a new life now. I thought I put all that behind me. So I do this, I speak to people, and I confront the guys here now. This is my new life. My new life is here. So here I am, and these are two people I actually debated, and this is what I do. I'm so busy here. It's a shame. I don't have time to deal with the people back in Patterson and the officials. So let's go back to this guy, Harry Melber. I am trying to get away from it. I don't even think about this guy. He's trying to play the victim. I want you to understand that. He went after my wife, and now he's trying to play the victim. You perpetrated yourself to go after her, and now you want to play the victim. So let me just give you a little recap so you can understand where I'm going here and why I'm coming back to Patterson digitally to see if I can still help you guys with this and where he's connected to. I tried to run for mayor, and the short version is the PI told me that this character here, Andrew Saya, and I'm going to tell you what this picture is about. Wait for this picture. Hired him. They said he hired this PI to go after my wife and me. They have thousands of hours of videos that we have still not seen yet. And he got caught. He got caught. 4 police cars pulled him over. She was crying. She was scared. I was scared. And that night I went and I made some comments that was, that to me, I believed them to be true. I believed that what I said to be true. They were trying to hurt her. But I didn't say it was him. I said it was Saya and the Charles Florio, the developer. It's causing problems now. That is actually in battle with Saya. So the two of them are fighting, right? They were buddies. He wanted Saya elected. Saya wanted to get elected and was going to help him. Now they're feeling Saya's betrayal. And they don't understand. The guy's a traitor to the people that helped him. And so anyway, Harry Melber was caught, and I made some comments that night, and really not a lot of people saw it, like about maybe 15 people. But months went by. He said nothing. And I was saying some other stuff. Why would he do that? Why didn't he just, stay away from her? And 5 months later, my wife sued him. It took him to criminal court. And because we didn't get the video he withheld, we couldn't prove that he was weaving into traffic and would cause her to run up the road, maybe get killed or something or hurt. But I said, why hurt her? Why not hurt me? And which is a supposition, if their intent was that. But somehow he went, after his trial with my wife, he was nothing. He didn't care. This guy is a private citizen. So the former police chief and some other people of Passaic County told me Saya went to him told him to sue me, and Saya would pay the bill. And so Saya's behind him, suing me. So he got a lawyer, they sued me, and I beat 2 suits before. I know how it works. You have to say something that you know to be not true, and you still said it based on knowing it to be true. A husband venting about somebody's going after his wife that night, and believing what he did was right is not liable. And by the way, my newspaper never published it. I had no NJ Pulse, which is what they said in this suit, because I showed you this the last time. When they said, I constantly said the NJ Pulse Facebook, there's no NJ Pulse Facebook. So how did all this get past the judge? I have no freaking idea. I do know that I filed criminal charges and ethics charges against 2 of the top judges right here in the New Jersey, and they vowed to take all my cases and dismiss them, and they did, and go after all of them. So I have a feeling their fingerprint may be on this. But anyway, I have a judgment against me, and I caught my lawyer. I said, what the hell is going on? I didn't pay attention to this case because it was so easy winnable, because it's hard to prove that I intended to do something and I knew it to be false. Making a comment about people going after your wife and defending your wife, apparently I'm censored from doing that. I am censored by these political judges from defending my own family from these political goons that think it's okay to just go after them. So this guy is basically just a puppet, but they're using him to try to get to me. So anyway, he files a suit, he wins, and he's trying to hijack me, maybe blackmail me. That's my opinion. So he thinks that because he gets a judgment against me, he's going to try to pump me. So when he won, I called up my lawyer. I said, listen, I'm living in freaking Dallas. I don't care about him. For almost 2 years, I didn't write anything about him because I really wanted to just put this behind me. And then all of a sudden, he wins. I know he wants to use it as somehow he has a rope around my neck and wants to pull it and choke me. And you guys know me. I don't like to be cornered. You don't corner a man like me. I have left this guy alone. Never published anything about him since November 2016 or something, or whenever I came to Dallas. I'm living my friggin' life. I'm doing my own stuff. So anyway, his lawyer calls up. Anyway, let me explain this photo. This is Andrew Sayer. He's leaving the Clifton court right now. So I went to the Clifton court to find out why was he at the Clifton court. Do you know why he was at the Clifton court when he was a councilman? He filed criminal charges against me. And I don't know how I found out, but God is away. He watches over his own. And they said that he filed criminal charges against you in Patterson, and it went to Clifton because of who he is. So I wrote the judge in Clifton. I got a copy of it, and it says, I suspected that, I didn't get to see the whole thing, is that he was at the brownstone, and I took a photograph of him because they told him to leave the area. Somebody had fainted away. And he was trying to act like he can, he was boss, and they told him, the cops told him, no, you got to leave. You can't stay here. So I published, I don't know if I put it in my paper, I published that the brownstone, which is true, the brownstone kicked him out, that he had tried to get involved and they asked him to move. He tried to tell a judge because the judge didn't know what was going on. This is how smart he is. He figured the judge doesn't know I'm the press. The judge doesn't know he's a councilman. The judge knows that somebody just harassed him and is just harassing him and writing things to harass him. And he was trying to get slick by the judge. But I wrote to the judge and I said, I am the press. If a case with Sayer comes up there, because I called the court and they said, yes, he was there, probable cause hearing against me. I am the press. I reported this about him and I have a right to do so because he's a public figure. So the judge threw it out. But this is him going to file criminal charges against me. I showed up in court and I was waiting for him outside. Why would you do that? You know, because he's a lot to hide. This guy has a lot to hide, and he's so devious. He goes behind everybody's back. So let me get to my real point. Anyway, I'm in Dallas. I'm living my life, and Harry Melber now is in New Jersey. He lives in South Jersey, and as I said in my last on court records and everywhere else, hacked into my account, made changes. Never sent me a letter to cease and desist. Never did I stopped. I never repeatedly sent it to everybody that did something bad. 5 months later, somebody went to Harry Melber and told him to sue me. We know from the past thing that he sued me in 2017 and he lost. He sued me, had a cop sued me, they said, and they had a lawyer from the police union. He paid, they said, to have her sue me, and we beat her all the way to Supreme Court. I won. So how did I lose this one? And I have a feeling because when he went to court before this judge, and I had criminal charges against Andrew Sayer, before this judge that I filed charges against. I'll show you this judge. Come on here, Capital. I know you're here. This is the judge I filed criminal charges against, an ethics charge. Sayer was in the court. Sayer's attorney was there. He told Sayer's attorney, turn this case into a civil case, and then I confronted him. You can't tell him what to do. He should have been disbarred. But it's not too late for that because the 5-year statute of limitations. So he's helping Sayer. So I believe that Sayer, this is my belief, went to that guy, as they said, had him file a suit against me. He said he knows every judge, and he has jurisdiction over every case against me or for me. He knows every judge in New Jersey, every judge in the appellate court, and I believe he's been making phone calls. That's what I believe. That's my suspicion. And that's how they got this to stick. Stupid. That's why I left it to my lawyer. I said, because it's a stupid case. You can never win it like that. But unfortunately, he went. So anyway, having a judgment, let me explain to you why Harry Melber is this. Harry Melber is a PI that went after Joey Torres and has been boasting. The photo that I showed you, he's been boasting on national TV of how he took down Joey Torres. This is his boasting photo. Now he's starting to say he's a private citizen. I'm a private citizen and he can't sue private. You can't say something bad about a private citizen. Bull. I don't know why my lawyer didn't bring this up. So, Mr. Harry Melber, and to you, Patterson, these are collections judgments that I have against people who are advertising in my paper. So Harry Melber has a judgment against me. He has to be in court on Monday the 22nd to tell a judge his damages. I guarantee you, he's supposed to show his bank accounts. He's supposed to show his tax return, his medical reports between April 5th and September 2017. And I guarantee you the judge is going to give him a free pass on that because his lawyer is also very slick. I did my homework on him. I don't have the best lawyer in this case. I'm telling you right now, and I know it. I don't have a firm. I have one guy. That's what God gave me, and that's what I got to work with. So this is my judgment collection. He has a judgment, but he has no money yet. But he's still trying to use that to choke me and to corner me. And I'm going to tell you what he wants. One of these collections here is $15,000 in a judgment I have against the guy from Temple Emmanuel, never collected. $8,000 from the surrogate judge Toledo's sister from her taxi service, $8,000 never collected. Another $5,000 from somebody else, $1,000 from the gym on Market Street, haven't collected. 5 different charges, a couple of others that I have never collected. You know when I win these judgments, what the judge tell me? He tell me, good luck collecting it. Good luck collecting it. That's what the judges tell me. This is federal bankruptcy papers, Mr. Melber, and I'm going to explain this to you in a second. These are just the forms, and they're easy to fill out. So anyway, I left Harry Melber out of my life. I thought I'd win the case, and I'll just, okay, but I go away, and I'll just go about my life. I didn't want to publish anything about him. I didn't care about him. I'm living in Dallas now. You see the things that I'm doing. I'm too busy to worry about the BS with him. It's over. So now that he won the first judgment, because all these things are appealable, and we usually win an appeal, because no Superior Court judge is going to look down and say, you can't censor this guy. He has a newspaper. And first of all, he never published anything in the newspaper, so they tie in all that crap. How do you tie in something I didn't publish in the New Jersey Pulse when I personally said it on a different page? because the judge is somehow is trying to screw me with this, and I know it. So appellate court and go to federal, they're usually going to kick it out. But I got to deal with this knucklehead right now. So here's the deal. He comes up on his attorney and start making demands on me before we went to trial. A month ago, we had to go to trial. Trial is, I don't know what the trial is about. I just know it's a hearing to see how much money he's going to get, if he's going to get any, if he can prove damages. So he wanted $1 million. Then he asked for $40,000. And then he asked for $10,000. And my attorney turned up, you can't get that from Serrano. He doesn't have any money. And besides, he can easily file bankruptcy. He can easily get rid of you in a second. You see that bankruptcy document? If that judge decides to screw me, like I suspect they want to, and they gave him like $5,000 or $10,000, whatever, because his attorney is very smart. It's easy to have somebody say, well, we tried to hire him and we saw this, which they didn't, because I Googled everything during that time and nothing showed up. So we're going to present all that document. The judge gives him something. I filed a bankruptcy. He's done. And guess what I get in return? I get to consistently start publishing things about it. Now, if you go back to my Facebook page, I just started publishing things about him because he was not in my life. But now he's cornering me with this judgment, trying to make it believe that he's got this, he can put me in jail, he can destroy my life. He's trying to play the victim. You went after my wife. And then 5 months later, they said, say, come to me and say, sue me or back me up. And you probably have the judges on his side and will screw Serrano, right? So he was lucky to get this. And he does know I have 45 days to appeal it. If I don't show up on Monday, I hit you with the bankruptcy. You're done. But I can still do what I'm doing for the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, I have been publishing this. You know why? Because that's the only defense I have. That's the only voice that I have. That's the only thing that I have left in me, is to tell you the truth about what's happening. What I'm telling you is what I'm dealing with. What I'm telling you is what I'm going through. It's not stuff I'm making up. I fought for Patterson like hell. I put my neck out for the city of Patterson, and they wanted to look for something to get me with. So they went after my wife, and when I spoke up about it, all of a sudden, let's get him with what he said about defending his wife. So I'm not allowed to defend my wife anymore, according to them. So I have, so he has this judgment that we don't collect on. But now he's trying to make it look that, oh, I'm the victim. He said this about me and my life was destroyed. And nobody said what I said about him. Nobody. But they're playing the victim card is what he's doing. And I want you to save this tape because I'm going to tell you something on this deal that's going to be very important. Okay? When my attorney and his attorney spoke on June 9th, I got the call from my attorney that we lost. And I said, you got to be freaking kidding me. This is one of the easiest cases. The other two was harder. He says, well, there's suspicion around this case against you. So when we got to settle, or you got to do an appeal, or you got to come Monday and fight this on his 22nd. I mean, that was back then on the end of June. So we had a death in the family, and I couldn't make it. So we did a postponement. But just before the postponement, his lawyer told him, just settle and go away. Just you go your way, he goes his way. That's it. And I was good with that. Because for a year and a half, I showed good faith. I showed, listen, you don't mean anything. He's trying to make it look like it means something in my life. At least that's what I thought. But let me tell you the secret what's happening behind the scene that I know. So now he's making demands. Like a judgment is the end all be all over my life and my newspaper and what I can say and what I can publish. So my lawyer's fighting with me, get rid of him, just pay him off. I said, absolutely friggin' not. I'm going to pay him a dime after what he did to my wife. And now he's the victim? He's playing the victim. 5 months later, we had him in court. He never said anything that was being defamed. It came up in his head 6 months later. Why? Why 6 months later? Because according to the PI, the former police chief of Passaic County, Andrew Sayer, has been following all my posts, looking for anybody that I'm in conflict with so that he can turn them against me. And that's how we came to reason that he went to Melber to get Melber to sue me to see if he can get the other judges on board to screw me. But I'm not giving in. I'm not caving. There are people to investigate this stuff. There are people to go after people that does this to people like me. You don't get to skirt the law and be manipulative and target the press, and censor the press. I had to know that what I'm saying was untrue. But this was late night. My wife came home crying. I didn't know what to say. I went online and I emotionally said what I said, that I believe they did. Could hurt her, could have come to me. And I still believe that. You know why? Because the videotape that he presented in Joey Torres is the same set of videotapes he was taping me and my wife, and he never presented it. He hid it. That's why I still believe that. And another lie, I told you 3 lies that was said in his complaint. One was that he showed the police department his driver's license and his insurance. But what they don't know is I have the videotape where the dash cam is right behind that car. No driver's license, no insurance. So his attorney lied. And now they still think that they're smarter than me, right? They think that we got this guy over the barrel. We're going to screw him. We're going to teach him a lesson. So I've been trying patiently with my attorney to say, look, I showed good faith for a year and a half. Even if I had won, I wouldn't have published anything about the guy. I don't really care about him. What I would have probably said is the people in Patterson was the one who hired a PI to go after my wife and focus on the people of Patterson. But he wants to make himself important to me. I don't know why. Why does he want to make himself important to me? I have no freaking idea. But now, so he's trying to play the victim. But here's what I believe happened. He won $1,000. And I wasn't going to pay anything. I just do my bankruptcy and I'm good. Go screw yourself, excuse my language. But my wife came into my office a week ago and she started crying. She tells me, this is not just about you. This is about me too, what he did to me. That's the victim. She's the victim. I'm the victim. We lost about $150,000 and we can prove that in salary loss. We can prove it. He lost nothing because nothing was printed. Nothing was out there. I want to see who he's going to bring to say he lost business from. I want to see that, right? So I'm trying to raise the funds so I can come and sit in that courtroom and let it play out, see what happens. Let me see if the judge is going to hide his records, hide his bank account. Inside his bank account, I guarantee you, are checks from either Andrew Sayer or Charles Florio. We have to prove that he was still getting paid, he was still on the payroll, and if the judge hides that, the judge did drive me the right to a fairness. So anyway, he's trying to put that off the table and try to act, I got you, I have a judgment against me, you better do this, you better give me this, you better give me that. Well, I got a big, I want to say F something, but that's not Christian. So my response to my attorney was, look, they gave me 5 things. You're not going to publish anything about him anymore. There's 5 things that my attorney asked me for, and I said, and delete everything that I'm saying about him right now on my Facebook page, and delete everything I said about him. And I said, well, I agreed to the 5 except number 2, which I said, I'll delete everything, including all of 2019. I don't care about this knucklehead. But he seemed, that's where the suspicion came in. Because when I thought we had it in the bag, the 5 things I objected to with my attorney, but just to get rid of it, my wife, who he went after, put her in an emotional state, said she'll pay the $500. She has to pay him after what he did to her, and he's flipping it like he's the victim. He went after her. And even after, he didn't even give a damn. He didn't even come to apologize. He never, and I had a countersuit against him, and they said, I can't file it, the attorney had to file it. But I forgot to tell my attorney about that, so we didn't get to do it, because that would have been here. Plus, she didn't want to testify. What he put her through was hell. Hell. So to avoid her coming to testify and putting her through the hell again, she said, look, I'll pay him the $500 just for him to go away. My attorney was going to pay 2, he's going to pay 2, that's 7, because I'm not going to pay him a dime. I would do that bankruptcy and tell him to go to hell, and I get the right for the rest of my life to tell people what he did. And I don't have to make up something new. All I have to do is to mention what you did before that you sue me on. And so anyway, I get a call from my attorney again today. I thought we were good. Okay, he's going to go away. Now I can go live my life in Texas here, right? But I got a call. Somebody communicated with me and told me Andrew Sayer is trying to use this to get himself off liability. And I said, what do you mean? He said that Andrew Sayer is trying to get him to make you sign a stipulation that if you say anything about Harry Melber in any negative or spiteful or whatever, I have to pay $25,000 in fines. And I thought about that for a second, and I said, why would he come back with this if I just want to go along? And he could clearly see for a year and a half I didn't give a damn about him. Why would he add this to here? And then it went back to this character. Where is he? Come back here. This character. I put you this picture. This is the picture that caused a problem between me and him when I caught him praising Islam and trashing Jesus. Oh, by the way, you can see that Andrew Sayer Jihad, and you'll see what I'm talking about in this photo on Google. So anyway, it hit me. What Sayer wants now to be, he wants protection. So if, in fact, I sign this, that'd be fined $25,000 with the one who's playing victim now after what he did. Then if I was in conversation that, he's been trying to trap me. I know he's been trying to trap me. I've been catching him all over the place. Thank God Jesus has given me wisdom to watch him. Because even when the girl that came in my car and tried to get in there, I have a feeling it came from him. That's what I feel. Because it was a Patterson undercover car, or a prosecutor's car, whatever. Either him or somebody else. They tried to get me. The sheriff said the judges behind this to go after you. The judge I showed you before. These two judges, the sheriff told me, him and this one is plotted against you with the councilman. They were trying to hit me in the chamber so they can have me arrested, and they would go before him or one of the other guys, and they would have me in jail, right? This is the judge that actually charged the 7 council members, in Pompton Lakes, and they went after her just for doing her job. Anyway, this is the lonely highway. He went after my wife. All these cars have dash cams, and I have the dash cam. They lied to this judge 4 times to get this judgment. And I just wanted to walk away, Just, Harry Melber, just get the hell out of my life. Get the heck out of my life. I don't care about you. I don't. But if you're going to try to think you're going to corner me, instead of giving me my freedom to live here, I'm going to turn. You corner a lion, it's going to go after you because it's got nowhere else to go. Let him sign the damn thing and go about your business. But Sayer, they said, is trying to get Melber to do the $25,000 waiver fee if I say anything about Harry Melber. So here's what is going to happen. Somebody calls me up. Somebody says something to me. Hey, what happened to that PI case? Well, I can't mention that. But what about the Patterson officials? Yeah, well, they hired him and that's it. That's it. All I had to do was to say they hired him to go after my wife, and that's the $25,000 fine I get. See how smart they are? Now, I asked my attorney to put in there, I have to mention his name. I have to say the PI Harry Melber. And if I don't mention his name, then I'm fine because nobody gives a damn who he is. They're going to focus on the people I'm talking about. So give me that. But he doesn't want to give me that because Sayer wants protection. He wants protection, or he wants to set me up. And that's why I didn't sign any crap today. So I'm trying to deal with this villain playing victim that went after me and my wife. And I'm trying to deal with him amicably or how I could. But he thinks that because he got this judgment, he somehow have me arrested and I can't get out of jail because unless he said so. And I'm like, who the heck does this guy think he is? He thinks I'm stupid? I got 6 judgments here that I can't collect on. And 4 of them still live in Patterson and have businesses in Patterson. So you guys, you tell me, should I sign this nonsense? And my attorney is getting mad at me and telling me, just sign the effing thing, and make it go away with. But he doesn't understand. And I told him, you don't understand these people in Patterson. You don't understand what they're capable of. You don't understand what Sayer's been doing to me. All this behind my back stuff, going to the courts, trying to have me arrested, calling people up who have conflicts with, trying to get them to turn against me. That's what he does best. And God has given me wisdom so far. Because when I have to pay that fine, what I have to say? Well, I took bad decisions for my attorney. Judge doesn't care about that. I don't care what bad decision you took from your attorney. You should have said no. So I'm saying no. I'm telling you no right now, Harry Melber. You want to be in my life, I don't know why. So I'm going to make you part of my life. You don't want to just go. You want to do all these fine bullshit and try to keep me connected to you. Well, then fine, we'll stay connected to each other, but you're not going to get what you want. So you can tell your attorney, Mr. John Olson, to keep going harassing my attorney and bullying me. And I'm going to tell you this. Go to court on Monday. You'll get a default judgment. Then you're going to have to prove you had damages. And you know what I'm going to do? I have people with cameras going in that courtroom on Monday the 22nd. We're going to make sure to see if the judge gave you a waiver that you didn't have to show your bank account, that you get favoritism, that you didn't have to show your tax return, that you get favoritism, that you didn't have to show your medical records from April 25th to September 17th only in 2016, I think, or 17, was it? 1890, 2017. Only between that date, because that's when you said you were damaged. That's what we want to see, because you won't want to show me that Saya or Flory or whoever is on your payroll. Okay? So you're not going to get away with that either. Because right now I'm going to pull all... Let me show you something, Mr. Harry Melber. And I'll show the public too. This is your file. Okay? I had this in a box packed away, signed as closed. I closed you off. And now I went back and I got it. You made me go get these files. You had 5 things to just walk away. You don't want to. You want money. I'm paying you. My wife, who you went after, is paying you money just to leave us alone. You're still not happy with that. We said there'll be no contact order. You're still not happy with that. You saw for a year and a half I had nothing to say about you because I don't care about you. But you want me to care about you. You want to show me that you're this devious and you're just like Saya. Or maybe it is Saya I'm talking to and not you. You just want to show me that you still want to be connected to me. All I want to do, I am so freaking busy here, I don't have time for you. But I have to give up a lot of time to come back. So I had to go get those files. You want me to relive all of this and bring back all of this so we can start doing some investigations and start doing appeals and stuff? Because if I raise the money, I'm coming on the 22nd. I'm going to sit in that courtroom in the morning and give you that chance to show your stuff and see if the judge gives you anything. And I bet you don't get anything because we're going to have to see that bank account. Have to, that's the law. And that judge is not going to deprive me because I'm going to go after him too. So don't play games with me. I am a fighter. I've fought for people all my life and for my family. And for what you did to my wife, you're getting away with it. You are getting away with what you did. Okay? I don't have to tell anybody about it. So, and if you think you are so smart, Harry Melber, let me tell you how smart I am. I can play your game. I'm an honest man. I don't have to hide anything. Patterson knows me. If they do something crappy and they try to bribe me, do you know how many bribes? 4 attempted bribes in Patterson. And I said no. Money I could have gotten in my pocket and shut my mouth. But I said no. I'm honest, been honest with people. Let me be a little honest with you. I can sign away your $25 BS, your $25,000 BS. I can sign it away. And say everybody make my comment, no contact, no, I have no comment. Play your game. And just because you piss me off, I can tell everybody, or if somebody asks me, I don't have to say anything. All I have to say is go pull the court records. Go pull the public records in the court because you're not going to get that sealed. And people are going to go from the news media and pull that court record and you'll be all over the damn place. So don't play with me. I want you to just go away and leave us alone. We'll leave you alone. And what I'm doing right now is I am forming an organization, Mr. Harry Melber and Mr. John Olson, to protect the families, of news media people because of what happens to me. So what happens if I lead them back to your case and see what you did? I don't have to say a word. I can take your gag order. I can do that. I'll do your gag order. But when those people find out what you did to that innocent woman, they're not going to take so kindly on you and the favoritism judge you got would say on the rest of them. They're not going to take nice to you. So walk away from me. I don't know why you think you have to be in my life. Why do you think you're important to me? You mean like nothing to me, like dust. But if you think you're going to get me to give you a $25,000 fine so you can set me up, you have another thing coming. You do. Okay? Because all you're going to do is to piss me off, and I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. I gave my attorneys 5 criterias that I didn't even want to give with paying you off. I didn't want to pay you off, and I'm not paying you off. The woman you went after and you caused stress and hell in her life, she just wants to get rid of you, so she's trying to pay you off because you're trying to flip over and play I'm the victim. I just saw a TV show. I just saw this new thing, documentary that they're doing right now to stop people from playing the victim. These people on the football field where somebody just passed their hand and they throw themselves down and start holding their throat, and somebody just put their foot next to them and then they fall down holding their ankle like they got hit. That's you, Mr. Harry Melber. That's my opinion. How did you get to sue an opinion piece? I have no idea. How did you get to sue a newspaper that says opinion and editorial? Is for an appellate court to look at. And once those appellate court look at that and says, how the heck was this opinion pieces all over the place in editorials, and you got a judgment against this guy? And based on what he says, he didn't know something to be untrue and said it. He believed you were going after his wife when he said that. How the heck did you get this page? My suspicion? This guy. This is how I believe that you got those judgments. No, not that guy. That first guy is a nice guy. One of these guys. Him? Or him? Or some of these guys in here. Because I have criminal charges against him, and I have criminal charges against this guy. They don't even want to hear it. Matter of fact, it's still in his office. Ethics charges. So the judges hate me, prosecutor hate me. You know why? Because I'm not going to let you do this to Patterson and get away with it. I'm not going to be a circle of whatever. I'm supposed to be protected by federal law. My newspaper is supposed to be protected by federal law. So even if I give you your judgment and you really press me and push me, Mr. Harry Melber, I'm just going to fight back. For a year and a half, I said, listen, let the guy go. I'm going to win my judgment. I'm going to win my defamation case. And then I don't care. Just let it go. But you want to stick me. You want to put all these criterias on me. Well, my attorney is mad at me because you're trying to push him because he just wants to end this. But what you don't understand is I'm not going to put myself in a position where a judge is going to tell me you should have not let your attorney push you into this. Because now you're in trouble. Now they set you up. Now they got you. If that's your intent, you got the wrong guy. I'm not going to let you do that to me. Because if you do that to me, I can still have, when I do my organization to protect the family, what do you think they're going to ask me? Who was the guy that went after your wife? I don't have to say anything. I can play your game. Go to the court documents, pull all the records, and you'll see for yourself. Go pull it. And they'll pull it. And by the way, Facebook does not have algorithms to put you out there. But the websites does. Because of you, Harry Melber, I had to recreate the New Jersey Pulse News.com. Because of you. So even after you're gone, and you go get your judgment, and I filed my bankruptcy, and I start continuing to publish what you did to me, now you're going to be on the internet. When those people start asking me who I am as causing this organization, you're going to be on the internet too. So you don't get what you want. You could have. You could have. When my attorney went back to you with the 5 criteria, you could have said, okay, fine. I want nothing to do with this guy. I want him out of my life. I don't know why you're taking money from a woman like this. I don't know why you want to go after a woman and then pretend you're the victim. 5 months later, 5 months, you never said that you had a problem with the post. Never sent a letter, and you lied. Your complaint lied. Let me tell you something. That's going to come up. It's going to come up. You lied about that. It's going to come up. You lied about showing your ID, and you put that in your complaint, and you signed it because I have the videotape from that dash cam that you lied. So don't think your complaint was all right and upright. You did a lot of stuff that you shouldn't have done to get that judgment. And now you called me out. So guess what? I'm going to call you out on everything you did wrong. Could have just let me live my life here. I'm busy. I have no time for you. But now you made me make time for you. So I want you guys to keep this video, because just in case he did what I suspect he did, let's in case I told my attorney, you know what, screw it. If he signs also that, okay, he'll get the $700, not harass, not go after us digitally or physically. And if he's caught going after us digitally, physically, he has to pay us $25,000 too, because I want that. If you get your 25, we want us to. You call me, I call you. And he wants to play that game. And then he tries to say it comes in and uses it to try to set me up. Know that I said this on this date. I think today is the 18th. Yeah, I think it's July 18th. Yeah, either 18th, I think 18th. On this 2019. Remember I said this. Remember I said what Saya was up to. And he's pushing Harry Melber hard to go after me, as pursuant to what the former police chief said and other people. Go away, Mr. Harry Melber. You're getting money you shouldn't be getting. You're getting too much you shouldn't be getting. I objected to my attorney on those 5 things, but I said, fine, we'll get rid of him. That's fine. Do you agree to these 5 things? I said, yes. Now you're coming back for more. Now you're coming back for more bites of the apple. What else are you going to want? What are you going to want? My car? What else do you want? So Patterson, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. And so anyway, don't even get me started. These are the criminal charges that I filed against all the council members, and it was approved. And this is the judge that I filed the ethics charge against. I dismissed it for him and told me any case I have in any court, he was going after it. And I believed he actually went and helped Harry Melber. That's my belief. This is the case. Asked him until leaving court. Judge took this case too, dismissed it without justification. He just dismissed it. Well, he didn't dismiss it personally. He called all the judges that I had cases before, and then they started dismissing all the cases. I think he personally dismissed that, or he had the other judge miss it, or the other judge dismissed it. So any case that I had, they were going after. I actually go to this on court right here. Prosecutor hates me. She refused to defend me. She should have lost her job. She refused to prosecute the case I brought before her that I wanted. She refused because these people are her friends. This is Andrew Saya. Now remember, this is Andrew Saya speaking to the guy from NBC that Harry Melber won, shaking his hand. And so the witness who called me to take this photo told me Andrew Saya called the NBC guy consistently. And Andrew Saya created the narrative for the NBC guy to go after Joey Torres consistently so they could get the attention of the Attorney General's office. Here's Saya reaching his hand out to shake his. Saya was controlling the entire media in NBC4. Saya was putting all this together, he said, and they called me and said, come and see exactly what Saya is doing with the embassy guy. I confronted him and I caught him lying, this guy. And then he told me I was unethical to report him as one media guy to another. I said, you're being controlled by a councilman to destroy a man's life, and then you're trying to pretend that it's all you reporting when he is controlling this. And that's how I suspect that he is also controlling Harry Melber. So here he is. I took these photographs. See, Saya's given the directions on how he wants this to go. I believe that Saya's given the directions on how he wants the case with Harry Melber to go. And that's why I think I'm going to get screwed if I accept this stupid deal. And here's Saya bullying the community, threatening he's going to win. And okay, so here's a process server who sold me in the second lawsuit I won. And here is Saya crunching his fist to punch me in the face, by the way. And here is him and the process server. I caught them outside. Something told me, why would this guy sue me? Where is Saya? And there's a council meeting going on. I come outside and I'm looking at the door, and there is Saya talking to this guy, and I followed the guy. They pulled away really fast when they saw me taking the photographs. So I followed him around the corner. I had a disability, but I tried to catch up with him. When I did catch up with him, I asked him, why are you talking to Andrew Saya? And who's this case sued from? He says, Officer Ackerman. Why are you talking to Andrew Saya? And he said that Andrew Saya called Ackerman's attorney and said he was going to cover her defamation suit against me. This is what this process server said. So Saya was behind that suit as well. Can you believe this crap? And I caught him. On the camera talking to this is Officer Ackerman's, that I beat her on the lawsuit. That's her process server. Why is Saya talking to him? Because he wanted to make sure I was served by hand, because that's the law. You have to serve by hand. And, want to make sure I got served. So I show up in court. But back then I had all these Republican attorneys who was on my side, would help me. You know, when you have a newspaper, you have a lot of friends. And when you don't have a newspaper, your friends just disappear when you can't help them. That was the Republicans in Passaic County. I had a lot of friends. And I didn't have a newspaper and they can't use me, which is sad. They won't fighting for me as much anymore. But my newspaper's coming back, thanks to you, Harry Melber. So I gave Harry Melber I gave him opportunities. I gave him 5 things. And now he wants to try to hijack me. And I'm going to tell him to go to hell. So if you're watching this, and your attorney's watching this, that's my thoughts. That's what I believe happened. That's my opinion. That's my editorial. So, and that's what's really happened. I think that is happening here. So they won't let me go. They want to keep fighting me. And, you know, boy, I tell you, if I was in New Jersey, this would have a whole different story. Can't do much here. But I think I'm going to do a print newspaper. I didn't say anything about Harry Melber in print. He sued me and said I said it in print. How do you get away with stuff like that? Because these judges aligned with other judges who I filed criminal charges and ethics charges against. So they're all trying to screw me there. But there are authorities. There's just the U.S. District Courts. There's federal investigators. They just got, 6 cops in Patterson. I'm going to go to those guys and ask them to see if there was any communications between this judge here, Judge Capicello, and the judge in Union City, to see if he called him and pulled his case and tried to turn it and twist it to screw me. I can win this easily in the appellate court. Or I can go about my life, let him go on Monday, hit him with the bankruptcy, and you got nothing. But again, Harry Melber, this is what you lose. You lose me not continuing saying what you did to us at the end of this, when you got your judgment. If I had gotten my way, if I had won, you wouldn't see any of this video. That's my good faith thing, because I didn't have anything to say to him. I wouldn't even come on and say I beat Harry Melber in the lawsuit, and I wouldn't care, because I'm living a different life now. But he keeps trying to draw me back. But again, I think Saya is trying to get safety here. Saya is trying to get him to say, I'm not going to mention him ever, because in order to mention Saya did something to my wife and paid him, I got to mention Harry Melber. I got to say, well, even if I made a deal, it would have to be by name only. But if I tell my attorney to say by name only, he wouldn't want that either. He's going to want to push more. And I said, you know what, screw him. But I have, and I think I showed you guys this the last time in my last video. So here is, here we go. This is when I said something about him. Within 5 days, right? Everybody sees it. This is about 20 days and nothing changed. I have other algorithms that shows nobody really saw it. So how could somebody from Patterson who really have no money to hire you could not hire you? There's nothing on Facebook because I Googled his name just to make sure. On Google, just to make sure nothing fed. But when I do that website and when I do the YouTube, Google owns YouTube. Google feeds out to website. They don't really feed out to Facebook. And Google will feed out to his name. And what he did will now be published on the World Wide Web. And if he comes to me too late, because it's coming up tomorrow, and say, well, now I want a deal, now I want to do this, too late. Now your name is up there. I can't pull back your name. I can pull it back now from Facebook. So my deal was to remove all of this. All of this that I said within the last 2 weeks. Because like I said, if you're calling me, I'm going to respond. And the only respond and protection that God has given me is my newspaper. The only voice that God has given me is my newspaper. To protect others, to protect myself, and to protect my family. So a judge is censoring me, telling me I don't have no constitutional right for free speech. I am censored from speaking against the officials and their hires when they go after my family. I'm basically censored is what he's saying. I can't say that about him. So now Harry Melber wants to make a deal to censor me. I can't even mention his name. I can't even say anything about him. Period. That's period. So he can come back and do something against me again in 5 months. And now I have the stipulation that I'm not supposed to say anything negative about him. Because if I said he targeted us again, he came to Dallas, because we're only 3.5 hours here, but it takes a lot of money to get here. And he has people that's paying for this. And oh, by the way, one thing, how does he have no money, but he has a high-priced attorney? You can afford this attorney, but yet you said you have no money and you want $1,000 from me?
So it makes all more sense that he's being financed by what they said, Saya and people from Patterson. Just makes sense that you have no money, that you're begging or you're demanding $1,000 from me. And so how did you hire this attorney? This attorney is not working for free. I did my research on this guy. He's not cheap. Who's paying for this guy? Patterson. Patterson. All this nonsense in my life is Patterson trying to give me help. And now it's time for me to fight back. So the website is New Jersey Pulse News. I'm going to start fighting back. I'm going to start being there. I'm going to start taking all the commentaries from the other newspaper and explaining to you why this is happening and why this is happening. That's happening. So from now on, I'm back. I can still spend 25% of my time in Patterson because that's what Harry Melber is costing me right now. It's costing me a lot of time away from what I want. And how do I know you're villain? Because it's in court documents. I'm not saying something new. I said that in my court documents. You went after her. And I didn't even say you tried to hurt her. I said the other people tried to hurt her. So don't play the victim for me here. Everything that I'm saying here, I said it before. This is not new. Words may identify it. But don't try to play the victim here, Harry Melber, because it's going to backfire on you. Because at the end of the day, people already know what I went through. And they know who's behind it. It's not you. But you're trying to make it you. So now what happens? No, you're out there. You won't say it's Saya that made you do this. You won't say it's other people in Patterson that made you do this. Guess who'd come back to you? Because you're saying you did it. You're saying you voluntarily went after my wife on this highway. Where's the videos, Harry Melber? You want me to start calling up things I should be calling? Where's the videos in my appeal that you would have evidence? And by the way, we have the police report from Vernon, New Jersey, that says you did not show your driver's license as you said in your complaint against me. It says the cop had to go online to try to find you and you lied about your address. So you're a liar, the cop said. You lied about your address. You gave false information. When he asked you where you live, it's in the police report. I'm not just saying this. I'm saying what the police report said. How many other lies have you told to play the victim? A lone woman on this road happened to be my wife. And I can't even speak about it because I have to be censored by these political judges who are protecting these Patterson officials. Alone. And I'm in court here testifying against him in criminal court. And the judge said she had a communication with Capacello. I'm like, how can you have a communication with him when we're trying to get the case away from him? So it's all fixed. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, what I'm going through here and what as I'm walking through it. I really just want to end this. But he doesn't. Clearly he doesn't. Clearly he wants to keep his fight with me going. Clearly he wants me to respond. And I'm going to have to. I gave 5 things that I didn't want to give. And I'll list it for you guys. Including $7,000. $700. So one more question, guys. I have actually 2 questions for you before I close. If somebody went after your wife, if you're a man, and she's crying on the phone and you found out this guy did it, what would be your response? You probably would say, I want to break his leg, I'll bust his face. It's your wife. Jesus Christ, you swear an oath to protect your wife when you get married. And I couldn't protect her. That's my emotional stress. I couldn't protect her. All I had was my media to speak about it. And even now, they got the political judge saying I'm censored. I can't say that they went after my wife. Even if it's my opinion, even if it says editorial, I can't say he did this. I think on one of the other posts I said we need to get rid of him. Just like I said, we need to get rid of these cops if they do something wrong.